Hi there, this is Joe from SquareXO and this is SquareXO episode 39. Don't forget, I have forgot. Today I'm joined by Dan.
Hello.
And Rebecca.
Hi guys.
And Nicole.
Hey.
I almost forgot to introduce everyone there, so that's sorry. Don't forget you can follow us on twitter.com/square_XO, twitch.tv/SquareXO. I'll do some streaming soon because I'm quite keen on doing that. Our website squarexo.co.uk, on patreon.com/squarexo. You can listen to us on iTunes and on Podbean, where you can also download the podcast. So if you can leave us a nice review and nice 5-star rating, perfect. And you can also watch on youtube.com/JohansonWater. Boom. Done. And this is episode 39, so next week we hit number 40. So it's always nice getting a nice round number. I'm not sure we'll get number 50 this year. Maybe we will. I don't know. Maybe weeks.
There's 12 weeks till Christmas, isn't there? Yeah, 10 weeks till Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh gosh.
So we might hit a little milestone of number 50.
Mm-hmm.
Number 100's more of a milestone, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a long way off, though, isn't it? A long way off.
Yeah, but still, 50's good. 50's good, and it's growing every week, as Dan says. He knows, he looks at the stats, I don't, but Dan says it's growing every week.
All over the stats.
Right. I didn't see any user questions this week, but then I didn't ask till today, so maybe somebody can tweet out now and just remind them that they can ask a question if they want, and then we can answer it later on if they have any. So somebody do a tweet. I'll leave that to you, Rebecca. You can do it.
Okay, I'll do one now.
You've been nominated. Okay. Right, okay, we've gone with news. And there's not really been a lot of news this week. It's actually been quite a quiet week in terms of gaming news. I was looking at various things and I'm like, no, that's boring. So I try and keep it to a minimum. Right, so the first bit I've got here is actually an interesting article from Eurogamer, which says Gran Turismo Sport is HDR's killer app. It's not news as such, but I thought it was quite interesting because what I've noticed is a lot of games don't tend to use HDR. They're all gone about 4K and all that, but HDR to me is actually a much more impressive feature than 4K is. But I remember playing, I think it was Gears of War, and obviously that's not in 4K, but it was on the Xbox One S, so it used HDR, and it just looked amazing, the colours, even though it's quite a grey game. Gears of War's always been a sort of dark brown grey game, sort of boring sort of colours.
Yeah,
but it's just with HDR and the sun's coming up, and it just looked amazing, so it did. Same with Forza, and also obviously in PlayStation there's some good games that use HDR, like Horizon, and I think Last of Us Remastered uses it now as well. So obviously with Gran Turismo Sport, I mean, we've been getting some quite good screenshots in our SquareXO already, haven't we?
Yeah, we've had some stunning shots. Yeah, real good.
The only thing I don't like about HDR is when you share a screenshot, it kind of, if you look at it like on a non sort of HDR screen, it kind of looks a bit, what's the word, dull, sort of washed out. So if people are sending these screens through, like saying, oh, here's my screen from Gran Turismo, you kind of need to take into consideration the fact that the colours might look a bit off because you're looking at them on a normal screen, so you can't quite see the HDR effect that they're seeing. So if you're thinking some of these screens look stunning, imagine what they'd look like on their screen in HDR, do you know what I mean? But yeah, I wish there was a way they could do it so that the HDR, when you shared the screenshot, you could kind of see it. That would be good, wouldn't it?
It would never work, though, would it? Because it's like watching a 4K video on a CRT TV. The screen you're looking at isn't made to display it.
Yeah, it's just a shame because it would be nice to be able to see it properly. I know it's sort of glory, wouldn't it? In a way, it kind of defeats the purpose of sharing the screens, doesn't it? If it's not looking as good as it should, don't you think?
Maybe, but it's just one of those things that you're never going to fix, or you're never going to be able to replicate someone else's screen on your iPhone.
Well, they
Screen.
said you couldn't send a man to the moon, but they did it.
Well, apparently they did it.
Yeah, you never know. You never know. Maybe one day somebody will invent something. An HDR filter, you peel it off and put it over your screen and it just kind of appears. A bit like
Boosts
3D
it.
glasses or something.
Maybe.
Glasses.
See, genius. I've invented something brilliant already. Excellent. Okay, next bit I've got is that... Oops, my screen's turned off. Is Life is Strange Before the Storm episode 2 is out next week.
Oh,
Did
I've still
any
not
of you
played
play
one.
the first one?
No,
No, not yet.
I'm just going to wait until physical, I think.
Yeah, same. Or for all three to be out at least. I can't deal with the wait.
Yeah.
Hello?
The first
Yeah.
one's quite good actually. I quite enjoyed it, but I don't really like the main character. I never liked her in the first game, and I don't like her now. She's a bit annoying. She's a bit of an arrogant, don't know, big mouth. So she's a bit of an annoying main character. But
I've
Is that
never.
noise?
Don't know. Is there a noise?
Yeah, someone was
I've
speaking.
I've never played either of the Life is Strange games, and I don't think I ever will. I
How
just don't.
come?
I don't know. Because everyone, I know I like Telltale games and I like choice games, but from what I've seen of Life is Strange, I just wasn't really hooked, and I think I was a bit like, oh, when does the game actually start? Because the bit I was watching is when she's like rewinding, tasks, and I was just like, oh, I'm not really into it. So I've never ever played the first one or the second one, and unless I see something that drastically changes my mind, I don't know if I ever will play them. I just don't know if they're my type of game. You know what I mean?
They are really good. I mean, things are quite slow paced at the beginning, but it's all
Yeah.
it's all kind of really kind of getting to know the characters. And I mean, the last few like parts of the game I found were really intense and emotional. Like it all kind of came over you at once, and it was really hard. Like it took me a little while to get into it, but once you kind of it just starts snowballing, and you're just like, oh my god, I can't put it down. Like it's so
Yeah.
good.
yeah,
I don't
it's
think I
one
got
of
far enough
those.
into it.
It's one of those quite addictive games. I really like it, so I played this new one and I thought it was okay, but like I say, I'm not really a big fan of the main character. But it's quite nice seeing. I don't know. Did you even see our the other side to her? I don't know that you did. She just seems like an arrogant.
Do you mean
So it's
Chloe?
like, it's not. Is it? Yeah, is Chloe in it? Yeah, I'm thinking. Max,
Chloe's
but
like
Max is the other main character.
Max is the kind of quiet, subdued one, and Chloe's the kind of rebellious teen, kind of
well,
typical
she's
persona
even,
thing.
She's even worse in this one than she is in the main game.
She has her reasons, Joe. I mean,
She's annoying. I don't know. I'm just telling you.
I think maybe it's an age thing, possibly, without sounding ageist. I don't think it's possibly a game that's aimed at you. So you don't see yourself in parallel with that character, but maybe a lot of people who it is aimed
I've
at
got an
will
11-year-old daughter, and I know that character.
Yeah, exactly. So you're
I
the
know all
wrong
about
person
her.
to play it.
No,
Your
I'm just-
11-year-old daughter might identify better with it than you do.
Yeah, maybe. But she's horrible. I'm telling you. So,
No way to speak about your daughter on a public.
Yeah.
nah,
there you
she's
go.
lovely sometimes, but
slating his kids.
she's lovely sometimes. But no, that other one, she's just dreadful. She just needs to grow up. But there you go. But it's good. It's good to see it from all different angles, I guess. It's good to sort of try and relate to the character, even though you kind of know. You just think, no, you think you've got a hard life, love.
Yeah, but then that's the teenage mentality, isn't it?
That's true, yeah.
No, it's very good. It's very good the way they've captured that. I do. That's why I really like the game. But it's just to think, I just keep hoping she'll kind of see something that makes her think, what am I actually been moaning about in my life?
But you know she
Maybe
won't,
she
because the first game is a sequel.
Yeah,
It's set
a
afterwards,
prequel,
isn't it?
yeah.
So
But you never know. Maybe you'll relate to her eventually. Who knows? We'll see. It's still good anyway. She's just annoying, like I say. Right, Sony has provided a list of games coming to PSVR in addition to the 100 already available. I think over the next coming in 2017 and early 2018 is 60 in total, over 60 in fact. So that's pretty good. It's good to see it's still getting supported. Let me pick out some of these games. Doom VFR, for instance, which is one we already know about. Gran Turismo Sport, another we already know about. No Heroes Allowed. Pixel Junk VR. Series Soccer. Elder Scrolls Skyrim. Rabbit Hole, VR Apocalypse. These are just some of them. I'm not going to say all 60, obviously. And Monsters of Deep, Final Fantasy. There's loads. Actually, it's really good to see it getting supported. I get the feeling, because obviously we'll be talking about Sony's conference when that happens later on in the month. We'll do a special or something for that, because I think we'll probably need to, because I think there'll be a lot said. But brain freeze right there. But I think VR might get a bit of time at Sony's conference, I think they're going to push it a little bit more.
I hope so.
I think they'll announce the release of the new headset in Europe, because they haven't really talked about it coming out over here yet.
Yeah, possibly, but it's nothing major really anyway. I mean, there's a few minor tweaks to it. I think they've moved the volume button and they've put a button on top of the headset and they've moved the cables around, and then obviously there's the HDR pass-through, which means you don't need to unplug it when you want to play a game in HDR, which is obviously excellent news.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean. It's enough. It'll be enough to tempt some people, won't it, to buy it?
Yeah, possibly, but it's not really changed that much in respect of resolution or anything like that. So, I mean, I think the major thing they'll announce is the price. I mean, the price has been dropped, but it's maybe not a thing a lot of people know about. That it has been dropped to $330, is it, permanently? I think maybe a bit more than that. I can't remember exactly how much, but it was $350, so it's at least a 20 quid shaved off the price.
Still too much for me. I still don't see value in it for that price, personally.
No, same. I'm
It's
still waiting for
still
some
the
incentive.
cheapest though. I mean, if you think about Oculus, has just dropped theirs with the touch controllers to $399. So PSVR is still the cheapest sort of entry level quality VR that you can get.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would really like to get it again because I just miss it. I do like it.
But if you wanted it that much, you'd have it again now, wouldn't
I wouldn't. I
Well, you
can't
would.
afford that.
Because you, yeah.
As much as that's quite I think I need to watch my mind now. So I mean, things that obviously I want to get Xbox One X because I just like having all this new tech as soon as it comes out. But I kind of need to watch now. I need to be more sensible about will I use it, and obviously I won't use Xbox One X at all, barely. I won't use. How much would I use PSVR? Not that much. I don't suppose I might have a go now and again. I mean, I guess sometimes you just need to think, do I really need it? Whereas that's never been my mentality before. Yeah, I need it. Of course I need it. What are you talking about? But now my mentality is, do I need it? No, not really. So, I mean, I don't know. It's a shame though, but it's good. I hope it goes strength to strength, really. Another thing I think they'll talk about at that conference is that Sony will probably drop the price of the PlayStation 4 Pro. I can see that happening, can't you?
Yeah, well, I think they have to do something to counter the release of the Xbox One X. I think they have to be seen to be being proactive, so that would make sense to pull it further away from the price point of the Xbox One X. Especially because I've seen quite a lot of deals going around on Twitter for the new the X with a few games for a good price point. So you feel like there will be something.
Yeah, it makes sense, I guess, to drop the price. It kind of, if they do, I can see it outselling the Xbox One X, especially in the UK.
It's been out a year now, isn't it? So it's kind of the right time to drop it now. Enough people, if they were going to buy it, will have bought it by now. So open the market up a little bit.
I think in the US, the Xbox One X will do really well. I've just got this feeling that it's going to end up outselling the PlayStation Pro. and maybe the PS4 even. Maybe it'll be the catalyst. Xbox needs to finally overtake PS4 in the US. It would take a while because there's still a few million behind, I think, but I think it could help it maybe because it seems to be getting good momentum just because all these people who love to argue about pixels seem to be fascinated by it. So, but I think everywhere else it's going to struggle really. I think
not that I want to bash it or anything, because we're obviously a PlayStation podcast, but I think until they sort out the situation with the games, that then they're going to struggle. Full stop. Yeah. I think they really need to support it. Like I don't read the mags for Xbox. I don't really look at any news sites for Xbox, so I don't know. But as an outsider and possibly someone that they'd want to target to buy one, I don't see enough of a reason above what I've already got to buy one.
Yeah,
and I think that will be their biggest hurdle.
It just depends how it comes across once it's finally here, and how it comes across when all these sites like Digital Foundry do their comparisons and all that. If they're going, oh, it's 10 times better than PlayStation Pro and stuff, it's going to sway some people, isn't it?
Probably, but
not really me.
We won't know.
It won't sway me because I know if I want it, I want it. If I don't.
When's the Sony conference?
I think it's on the 30th of October.
Is it? So it's right at the end of the month.
That's just from memory, but I know it's quite near the end of the month, so
yeah.
I could be wrong. It might be.
Because when's Black Friday? It's November at some point.
It's round about November. I think it's the week after my birthday. I think it's November 20 odd or something.
Yeah, it's normally the first Friday after Thanksgiving or something, isn't it? I think. But yeah, so maybe there won't be, because obviously the retailers want good deals for then. So you wonder maybe it's a little bit early to announce price drops, and then another month later they do some good bundle deals. You kind of think that they won't announce a big price drop then, because Black Friday then the retailers will want even more of a price drop, and Sony won't be able to accommodate it because they've already dropped the price. Does that make sense? Because they're going to be led by retailers somewhat. So I don't know. Maybe there won't be a price drop.
No, I still think there will be. I don't know though. I don't know. I'm sure there will be. Sure there will be. Right, wait there. When's this? I'm just trying to double check when this conference is, but I can't find it. I'm sure it was in Paris, isn't it? It's Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they have the Eiffel Tower on the graphic.
Yeah.
Oh, Paris. Paris. Just let me make sure I'm right. October 30, yeah. I'm so glad my brain works. 8 a.m. Pacific, which is probably means we get it at a decent time. 3 p.m. GMT. So we get it at a good time. What's October 30?
Do you say the 30th?
Yeah.
Okay, that's the day I get back from Comic-Con.
What day is it?
Oh, is it a Sunday then? No, it's a Monday.
Monday, yeah.
Ooh. Well, maybe we can do a podcast at 6 o'clock on a Monday. We'll be well relevant then.
I'm on holiday that week, guys.
Yeah, I'm at uni till 7 on Monday.
Plan spoiled.
Yeah.
Well, we'll need to do one. So we will. What do you mean you're on holiday, as in not here?
Yeah.
Oh. Stop sending it.
I've got 2 more holidays this year. I'm going away. So, yeah, need a break. Anyway, we don't need to talk about that.
The UK's biggest PlayStation podcast can't do a PlayStation conference coverage.
You don't need me.
Okay, we'll do it at 7 o'clock on a Monday then, right, Rebecca?
Yeah.
Okay. What more news have I got? Cuphead sold over 1 million copies in the 2 weeks since it launched. That's no big surprise, really, considering all the coverage it's had. So yeah, that's not a big surprise. And
has anyone bought it? Did you buy it, Nicole or Joe? I know you've got an Xbox as well.
Nah.
No, I didn't bother.
Oh, you should get it. It was so good.
I literally, right now, I'm so engrossed in Ark that any other game can literally, for lack of better words, go screw itself.
No, I'm not really interested. I like the art style, but I'm not really that bothered. Not at the
I
moment.
wish I had an Xbox. I would have bought it if I had an Xbox or a PC. I just thought it was so. Just such a
I'd love to play
right
it
up my
co-op.
street.
Yeah, I'd love to play it co-op because I've got like someone I play it with that it would be like super funny and frustrating with, but it's probably a long-term investment because I'm so preoccupied right now. I haven't got time to buy a game just to get annoyed at.
No, fair enough. I'm not really that bored. And finally, as far as news goes, Humble Bundle has been acquired by IGN. I thought I'd mention that because I've noticed Humble Bundle quite a lot of times where they do the really good deals, and obviously you give whatever you want to give and the money goes to charity. It's quite a nice idea, but it's also a good service in that you can get some cracking games, so you can. It's a good way to sort of. Has anybody ever used Humble Bundle?
No, because it's US only, isn't it?
No,
Yeah, so I thought.
no, it's not. I've used it before, and I've got games, and I've got PSN games.
Okay. No, well, obviously I haven't. I assumed it was North America only.
No, I
Yeah,
don't.
I've not used
I'm pretty sure it isn't, because I'm sure I've used it before, but I don't know whether it was PSN games I got or Steam. I can't remember. But either way, I used it and it works. So I don't think I had any issues. But I think, yeah, you can. I'm pretty sure you can use it for UK, but I don't know. But obviously, a Steam code's a Steam code, isn't it? So if I used it for Steam, that would be why. But I don't know if you can get UK codes, but I'm sure you could. I'd be wrong. I don't know. But anyway, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. So it's good that, I don't know why IGN's decided to buy it. Maybe it's just because it's quite a really popular thing, so it's quite a good thing for them to have under their name, I guess.
Yeah.
And obviously it means whenever there's an announcement or whatever, they can be the sort of exclusive news for it, saying, oh, this is this week's game sort of thing. So if loads of people are looking out to see what the latest games are, then that's, I guess it's quite good for them in that respect. Well, I did have the latest charts up, but then I went and deleted it by mistake. But I know that FIFA was number 1 last week. That's no surprise, really, is it?
No, it's probably shifted big numbers as well, isn't it? It's been.
Yeah, I think
everyone's been playing it on my kind of friends list.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I have been playing it. I think we were talking about that actually last week as well. That I think what game is that? The latest charts. What day did we do the podcast last week on a Sunday?
Yeah.
So last week for FIFA 18 number 1, Forza Motorsport 7 number 2, Forza Horizon number 3, Destiny 2 number 4, and Grand Theft Auto number 5. So there's actually 2 Xbox exclusives in the top 3. So I think that's probably because the Xbox One S was in a pretty good deal where they were giving away the console with Forza Horizon 3. And obviously people have bought Forza Motorsport 7 as well. But apparently Forza Motorsport 7 was down compared to previous games. Apparently it never done quite as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, it is the 7th, isn't it? Like, I know there's been other irritations of it, but surely by the time you get to a numbered game that is number 7, you're never going to sell as much as you have done for the first lot. I think people might get bored of it, or maybe wait a little while longer for a price drop or something.
I think actually Forza Horizon 3 might have sold more at once than Forza 7. Which I think it deserves to, because I prefer Forza Horizon anyway. Yeah, and so that's the news. Right, Dan, I know you wanted to talk about Lewis Hamilton for some reason, so I'll let you blab on about that for a second.
It wasn't that I wanted to talk about him, it was just I thought it was quite a big deal that Sony have managed to tie him up to a lot of the content in GT Sport, and then obviously that will go into a lot of the marketing, a lot of the draw to buy and play GT Sport will because of the association with Lewis Hamilton.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
suppose if you say to someone, here's a check for how much you want, can you be in our game? And he goes, okay, then it's quite easy.
Yeah.
I'd
Yeah, I
do
just
it.
think it's a good thing because it's a driving game, isn't it? And it's meant to be kind of, wasn't it called the Real Driving Simulator back on PlayStation days? So obviously by bringing in one of the best F1 drivers that there has ever been, it kind of ties it all up.
Yeah.
I wasn't massively interested in GT Sport to begin with, but now that Hamilton's in it, I'm a bit more intrigued and actually wouldn't mind to play it just to see what it's all about. So
Yeah.
I kind of just thought it was interesting, that kind of the way it swayed my mentality about the game because of an endorsement from a celebrity that I like or a sportsman that I like.
Do you think that would, like, if that was featured more in games, that, like, you know, games that wouldn't necessarily pique your interest might do?
I don't know, because I've moaned a lot in the past. Obviously, I moan a lot anyway, because I'm an older man. But when Until Dawn was released, I didn't like the fact it used real actors because I felt that it broke the illusion of gaming for me. So you were seeing real people from the real world in games. I use games to escape my busy life. By having that link back to real life, I felt that, I mean, Until Dawn ended up being great and I really enjoyed it, but I felt that I didn't like the fact that those lines were being blurred. It was the same way with the way that Ellen Page was in Beyond. I didn't want real actors to kind of come in and take away from the creativity of the gaming industry.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I feel with Lewis in GT, it's slightly different because he's not a character in the game. He's kind of giving his experience, I suppose, or giving his name to something that it's a bit like having Ronaldo on the cover of FIFA, I suppose, in that sense. So I don't know. It's an odd one. I'm split. I don't want the real world to overtake gaming too much, but at the same time, because of Lewis's involvement in GT Sport, it's piqued my interest a little bit. So it's a weird one.
See, Ronaldo's not just in the cover, he's in the game as well.
Yeah, I was about to say that.
He's actually part of the journey, and so's players like
is he?
Rio Ferdinand and stuff.
Yeah.
They actually act in it. And the journey, which I have to say is really, really good. I'm really enjoying it. I mean, I've not even played that much, but I've played a couple of chapters now, I think, or maybe even one chapter, but so far I'm really quite impressed with the journey story. It's really good. I'm really enjoying it. So
I agree with Dan in respect to it's kind of, you know, part of gaming is kind of immersing yourself in a different reality to yours kind of thing. Like it's an escape, and I think if you kind of integrate celebrities, it makes it seem less of an escape. But I also agree that seeing celebrities get involved, for instance, like obviously, like you said, Ellen Page and William Dafoe in Beyond Two Souls, and that the guy that plays Josh that's in Night in the Museum and Until Dawn. I like it because it shows that, like, because they really enjoy doing games and that, because like you'll see behind scenes footage where they're really kind of getting involved, and it really kind of puts into perspective how widespread the community is, and I like seeing that because I like seeing the gaming community be tight, and you know, when you see more people kind of being a part of it, to me it just I kind of get some enjoyment out of that. Like, I don't know whether it's just me, but it kind of, you know, puts a smile on my face thinking, oh, I'm part of a great community, you know. So
I've got a question for you then, Dan. Do you think that you avoid games like FIFA because it has real life sports celebrities in it?
Yeah, I don't know. It's an odd one, actually, because my reason for not liking FIFA is because I don't like the endless monotony of just playing a game over and over. I want to be led through a narrative or a story. So maybe because I watch football pretty much every week, like real football, so I then don't need to get a fix by playing FIFA.
I
don't know. Maybe that is part of it. But then because I'm playing what's it called? Hellblade. It is Hellblade, isn't it? I'm playing that at the moment, and it's really linear. Like, you might as well just walk forward and listen to the story. But I'm really enjoying it, and I think maybe part of the reason I don't like open world games is because you're kind of left to your own devices. There's no real narrative push, whereas in Hellblade and other games like that, there are. So I don't know, maybe I don't like FIFA because there's no narrative progression, but maybe it is also because it's based on something that's in the real world. But then I quite like driving games. But then in the real world, you can't drive like you can Need for Speed. So
I mean, I was going to say about the driving games, because when I was given a copy of F1 2017, I was like, well, I don't mind driving games, but I wouldn't pick them up because, to me, you're playing something that's very linear. It's just drive around the track. Yes, there's an element of progression in it where you have to obviously climb up the leaderboard to be the champion, but it's just, I think because it features all of the racers who are out there racing in the real world F1, it sort of just made me think, oh, well, it's not really, like, I know too much about these characters. Do you know what I mean? Like, I know, stuff about Lewis Hamilton. And that's sort of how I feel when people do, in Until Dawn and Beyond Two Souls. It's like, well, I know so much about Ellen Page. And it feels like, is she bringing that to this character too? Do you know what I mean? Like, as I'm say when I was playing Beyond Two Souls, I would be seeing Jodie, but all I could think about was, oh, I remember when Ellen Page wore something like this at this red carpet. Do you know what I mean? And it sort of
breaks the illusion.
Yeah, it slashes that line.
Rebecca.
Yes.
Rebecca, you sound like some sort of gossip columnist or something. Oh, I remember when she's wearing this at that red carpet event. Oh, I know so much about Lewis Hamilton. And it's like, what do you know? You've been writing secret articles on the internet about him. Oh, she's been with that man this week.
I don't know. I just think that I like playing games where I'm introduced to an original character, Yeah. And I always think if someone else's face is attached to that original character, then it's a bit hard to look at that person as an individual and be like, okay, this is their story. This is where they started. This is how they got here. But, like for Horizon Zero Dawn, where they were like, this is Aloy. Here she is. She's her own. Do you know what I mean? They didn't motion cap her. She's just
I kind of agree with you, but at the same time, I think about the journey, for instance, and you're playing as Axe Hunter, who is a fictional character, but obviously he's in a world where football, he's just starting out or whatever, and as he's sort of getting bigger and become more a rising star, he starts to run into these people who realistically he would meet. So like he'll meet, he was playing in a friendly in one of the chapters. Alex Hunter plays for Man City, so in one of the chapters he's playing in a friendly, and the friendly's against Real Madrid, so obviously he's standing in the tunnel and he meets Ronaldo. And then so he's sort of in awe of him, and he's sort of talking to him, asking him to swap shirts with him and stuff. And then later on, he's getting interviewed. We got somebody like Rio Ferdinand, who's a retired footballer, who does sort of interview people. So in that aspect, it's kind of, even though you're kind of meeting these characters, it's really them. So I think that's okay, because that is a scenario that could kind of happen if you were an upcoming footballer. So I think in some regards, if it's done like that, then it's okay. It's quite good. Like if you were playing a game about being an upcoming movie star and you met all these movie stars, it would be fine, because you'd be like, oh, look, there's Thingy. You'd kind of feel part of the character, wouldn't you? You know what I mean? I think that's...
I suppose it has its place, doesn't it?
Yeah.
But, I mean, luckily it hasn't kind of taken over. There hasn't been an epidemic of actors in games. I can't think of any since the ones we've previously mentioned anyway, so it's kind of like,
well, obviously right, there's been a lot of famous actors in games. There always is. It's happened loads in the past. It happened in Call of Duty, didn't it, with Kevin Spacey?
I don't play Call of Duty games.
They had the voice of Gary Oldman was in one of the old ones. He's just doing a voice, but a distinctive voice, but
Yeah, so I mean, I think even Kevin Spacey in Call of Duty, I mean, to me that's fine, because it's almost like he was playing this, I think he was playing a bad guy, I can't remember, I don't really pay much attention to Call of Duty, but
I think he was, yeah.
But I think he's playing a bad guy, but it suited him, the role, do you know what I mean? So if it suits him, and if it's a well-written role and it's the sort of role they would play in a movie, then I don't think it really feels at a place in a video game.
But then a game isn't a movie. That's the other thing that we could have touched upon. But like games and movies are separate, aren't they? Like they're two different things. You get different things from playing a game than you do from watching a film. We watched the new Tomb Raider trailer, and it just looks awful.
It looks horrible.
Like, they're just ruining a great character and a great world just for the sake of making a Hollywood film. And I think they can't just leave things alone sometimes. Like it's almost like lazy creation of money, I suppose. It's like, oh, there's this really popular video game character. Let's make a film about her and make all these people go and see it. And then it's the same when they make a game based on a good movie. It's like, there's a great movie that people love, let's just make a cheap game and watch the cash come in.
Yeah. I was really disappointed with, like, you know, like the Assassin's Creed film, because they kind of take it and like mess up the concepts like within it, and it just kind of, I don't know, kind of annoyed me in both aspects. I was like, you know, thinking this isn't the game, and at the same time I was watching the film, like, oh.
But would you want it to be? And that's where the dichotomy is. Because would you want it to be the game? Because if you would, you might as well just play the game. Like,
Which is amazing.
Yeah, exactly. So what's the point in making a film?
I just don't see how they get it wrong. I mean, they make all these amazing, pure epic TV series and movies. They just, some of them just sort of blow your mind. They're that good, yet they can't make a good video game movie. Why not? Who's writing it? Do you know what I mean?
But I think it comes down to the fact that it's two different mediums. It's like trying to make a great music album out of Coronation Street.
No,
the
but
two
not necessarily, because
a
book and
I
a book and a
that.
movie is completely different mediums, but they still manage to turn a book into a movie.
But how many times is that a good adaptation? Do you know what I mean?
Well, most
And
of
also-
the time they do it okay, but I mean, I don't know. I just don't know. They must be able to do it if they actually just took
Well,
their
they
time
can't, can they? Because
and
there
done
would
it.
be.
They can.
I just think
they
they
just
should
don't
up.
do it well for some reason. Maybe they don't spend enough money. I think because if you think most of the time video game movies, generally they don't use a big budget. Generally, you can tell that they're pretty low budget things, and I think that's probably the problem with anything else. I mean, take Warcraft for instance. That's an alright movie. I mean, it
I've
wasn't
seen it.
amazing,
No.
but it was
Apparently one of the Halo films was good as well.
alright.
But I think if you look at maybe the top 3 films, the top 3 games, the top 3 books, I bet they're probably all standalone films, standalone books, and standalone games, and they haven't crossed into other formats.
The thing is, it's because they were written for that format. Do you know what I mean? Like, so Tomb Raider was written to be a video game. It was written to be interactive. You know, you could do as many tombs as you wanted to. You could level up your weapons how you wanted to. And it's a long game. So compressing all of that into a 2-hour movie means that you lose all the good stuff, you know,
All the character
everything
progression.
everything that makes the game, you know, so good, basically.
Yeah. That's it. I just, I know it's kind of a similar thing, but it's different.
Yeah.
I just...
I completely agree
it's
with you.
frustrating. I'm disappointed with how bad that Tomb Raider film looks as well.
Well,
Yeah, makes you
listen,
apprehensive,
here
don't
we
it,
go.
about the Last of Us film thing.
Just wanted to say something. The top selling books of all time, the Da Vinci
you got
Code and 2 Harry Potter books.
Yeah, but they
No.
don't mean they're the best books just because they've sold the most.
No, but if you think about them, both of them were pretty
But
good
would they have
movies.
sold half as many books if there wasn't a film promoting the book? So it's a bit of a back. You can't argue it in that way.
No, I guess you can't. But that's quite a good
Debunked.
movie, actually. I don't think I've seen the movie, The Da Vinci Code, but I've read the book. Book
Oh,
was
it's a good,
amazing.
it's a good film.
Oh, I read that book. I think that's the fastest I've ever read a book. I think I read it in about 2 days.
That's cool.
It was
I've seen the film, but I can't remember it. It's got Tom Hanks in, isn't it?
Yeah, Tom Hanks.
I couldn't
think
put
it's
that book
fantastic.
down. That's absolutely incredible. So good.
But you see, you think it's a great book, it would make a great game, wouldn't you? Kind of mentality. But but obviously,
see, I don't know if that
know
would
the
make a
story.
good game, really. Just
Yeah.
because of the type of.
not many books.
Maybe it would, I don't know.
They don't do many books to games, do they? I can't. I'm probably putting my foot in it, and there's probably some really good games based loosely on short stories and stuff. But generally speaking, they don't tend to go that way, do they?
I'm trying to think. I can't think.
Yeah.
No.
Don't know. But there you
It's-
go. It's a difficult one, isn't it? The Witcher, was that a book to game?
Oh, yes, you're right. Yep.
I was
wait there.
thinking that as well.
Here, this could be interesting. 11 video games that are based on books. Assassin's Creed is highly inspired by a 1930s novel amulet, it says. Parasite Evil, the game, is a sequel to Parasite Evil, the book. What else we got here? I hate websites that are full of adverts. Sudoku is based on a classic Chinese literature featuring 108 characters.
Oh, I bet Dynasty Warriors is as well, actually.
Metro 2033 was originally published online as a weird interactive story. Enslaved Odyssey to the West is a sci-fi twist on Journey to the West. What is that, Monkey? Yeah.
Yeah, I've got because I got the special edition of that, which came with the book.
Yeah. Dynasty Warriors and Romance of the Three Kingdoms are based on the same Chinese classic. What else we got? Spec Ops. Oh, that was good. I like that one. And any games that I actually know about. No, that'll do. There we go. There's some interesting facts for you. I'm like a talking Alexa. Alexa does talk, but I'm kind of like a...
Yes, I talk all the time.
See? Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Did you hear what she said? She said, yes, I talk all the time. She's butting into our podcast again. Thanks, Alexa. That's very kind of you to say so.
But yeah, it's that's the thing. It's just interesting to kind of think about it that way, I think, or to question it, or to look at other things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
it was a long conversation about celebrities and things like that. That was quite good. Okay.
If anyone else knows of any good games based on a book or any good films based on games, then let us know. And don't say Super Mario Brothers, because although I did see it in the cinema and enjoyed it, it's not a good film based on a game, is it?
Not really.
I got in a bit of a Twitter argument. That's kind of like, I could probably say that every week, couldn't I? Oh, I got in a bit of a Twitter argument.
You saying that just doesn't even surprise me anymore.
It's a bit...
I've seen 90% of them as well, and I'm just there like, Joe, what have you done?
We should make it a feature. Joe got in a Twitter argument. What did you get in a Twitter argument about this week, Joe? No, this week it was about Edge Magazine and Super Mario Odyssey. Because I said, it's highly surprising they gave it a 10. And our boys and all the Nintendo fanboys jumped down my throat.
Well, statistically speaking, it had a 1 in 10 chance of getting a 10 out of 10.
True.
Well, it really had a 10 in 10 chance of getting a 10 out of 10, really. It's an exclusive review. I don't know what people don't get, but that when there's exclusive reviews and they're plastering a game all over they're plastering one of the biggest games of the year all over their front of their magazine that they need to sell. And then the reviews in the magazine, they're hardly going to give it a 1 out of 10 and go, here's our exclusive review of one of the biggest games of the year. Buy our magazine. If people bought the magazine and then they'd give it a 1 out of 10, can you imagine how many customers it goes? Do you know what I mean?
Well, no, they'd sell more, I reckon.
No, but I mean, over time, all the people who would hate that review would go, I'm never buying that magazine again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's stupid. Exclusive reviews annoy me because they're pointless. They really are. They don't mean anything. I know, it's down to the viewer's discretion, all that blah blah rubbish, but it's like that reviewer must feel pressure to review it well because his review is the first everybody will read. Do you know what I mean? It's just I don't know.
Do you think it's
trust
okay for a review to be an individual's opinion, or should it be an opinion of the body of who's reviewing it? I.e., when we review games, should someone ask us what we think? So Rebecca reviews a game. Do mine, Nick's and Joe's, and Rob, who helps us out now, do our opinions all count to that, or is it just Rebecca's opinion?
Well, it's only Rebecca's at the moment because she's the only one who's played the game and reviewed it, so obviously...
But that's what I mean, so does that make that review valid? And I know I'm not questioning our existence or anything, I'm just asking it as a question. Like, surely a review is only the writer's opinion, it's no one else's opinion, is it?
Because that's all a review is, isn't it? That's the thing. So when I turn around to someone and go, I don't think it'll probably deserve a 10 from what I've heard, because I was referring to what me and Rebecca and you guys were talking about on the podcast, where Rebecca's going, "Oh, I don't think this game is for me
Yeah.
because of this and this." So when I said, "Oh, I've heard," I think I just said on Twitter, "Oh, I've heard that it won't be for everyone," which is obviously a valid thing to say because Rebecca says it wasn't really for me. So I said, "Oh, I've heard it won't be for everyone," and I knew that without Rebecca even telling me that it won't be for everyone because it's Mario.
Well, no game is it?
And we've all seen it. We've all seen what it's like, and it's a bit weird and out there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's not exactly a standard 2D run along Mario, is it? It's a bit weird and out there, so not everyone's going to like that. And I'm not a fan of Mario, so it's not going to be my favourite game of the year. So I said, in my opinion, it's not a 10, and everybody jumped down my throat.
But your opinion, but you until you played it, I suppose you can't hold that opinion. But I know what you mean. It's like it's not going to be for everyone. It's just not, and it's just one of those things. But 10 out of 10 doesn't mean it's perfect.
No, exactly. But then people are going, "Oh, how can you question Edge's review or whatever?" And I'm going, "It's an exclusive review. That's why it's not. It doesn't mean anything. Wait till the reviews come out. It's not going to get.
You can compare it then with all the others.
Yeah.
It's not going to get 100 on Metacritic, is it? That's a fact.
I think it'll score pretty highly, though. I still
but
think.
does it score highly because it's Mario? That's what I worry about with reviews. The game's got that.
There's so little released. There's more these days, but like people wait for Mario games, don't they, for such a long
Is it a
time?
nostalgia thing? Would Mario score well no matter what it was? I don't know.
No, because it's Mario, isn't it? I think it automatically gets
A good
more
score.
excitement and more.
Is it automatically
playing
get 9 out of 10 just before MD even touches it, just because it's Mario?
I think because there's that initial expectation about what it brings. So I think really, and that's another thing with like reviewing for release date, is sometimes some games can take a year or 2 years until they show their true colours and you can really appreciate it. Sometimes that first 10 to 40 hours of a game, no matter if it's a 10-hour long game or a 20-hour long game, don't grab you. Like sometimes I think reviews have to be taken on face value. Like, it's like, again, like with a good film, you can watch it once, think it's great, watch it again and think, oh my God, there's so many holes in this. The acting's actually awful. It's difficult with like those instant reviews to people get overly excited, don't they? It's like with the whole Breath of the Wild on Switch. I loved it. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. And then actually you see what it is after 6 months or whatever, and you're like, oh, hold on a minute. I'm not quite sure it is what I thought it was anymore.
But I mean,
that's just life, isn't it?
Say, Rebecca, say for instance, this game you were playing Super Mario Odyssey. Say Mario wasn't in it at all. Say it was called Super Cute Cat Odyssey or something. And
I'd be down for that.
And it was just a cute cat.
Nick's giving it a 10 out of 10.
It's just a cute cat and no Mario in it. Would that completely change would that even lower your expectations or what you played a bit even further? Because Mario wasn't in it?
Well, I think my problem is that I didn't really enjoy Mario Odyssey too much when I played it at EGX. So I never would have given it a 10 out of 10 anyway, based on what I played. I know I only played 5% of the face value of the game. But I always think that every time I review a game, for example, I try and treat it as a standalone. I'll be like, okay, ignoring the series, ignoring the franchise, what is this game doing itself? How is it performing? Is it doing all it said it was going to do? Am I enjoying it? I just try and look at a game and ignore the franchise. And I think, people do get pulled in. They think, oh, great, it's Mario. We've waited years for a Mario. It's immediately going to get at least a 7 or higher. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. See, I think what you've just said makes 100% sense. And that's what all reviewers should do. They should just go at it as if it's a new game and not be all caught up in the nostalgia of it. Not be excited. Be sort of professional and go, look, new game, I've never played this series before, I'm going to go for it, and just switch off everything you already know. That's the way it should be done. That's the way I approach it. That's the way I would approach any game, really.
Did you read the Edge review?
I read some of it, yeah.
Okay, because I just wondered, because you're saying that we don't know if that is the basis of how they reviewed it or not. I haven't read it, so
I
I
haven't
don't
read
know.
it either.
Oh no, I wasn't talking about that review in particular anyway.
No,
I
I
was
know.
just talking about any review.
But that's what I mean. We don't know that. Yes, the score is 10 out of 10, and you can argue with that however you want, kind of thing. But we don't know the circumstances of the review. So he might, or sorry, not to even assume it's a he. They might have said it's a brilliant game because of this, this, and this, and this, and it had nothing to do with what came before it.
I mean, I'm sure it is a brilliant game. Don't get me wrong. I don't even want to kind of get caught up in slagging it off or slagging off Edge or whatever. That's not really the point. I guess my only point was that it's an exclusive review, so I don't think you can trust exclusive reviews for the reasons I've already given. Because basically they're selling their magazine based on that review. That's the simple reason.
I think, like we've always said, play a game and make your own decision on it.
The
rather
reviews
than
don't count. Like you said as well, for any review, whatever review we're talking about, it's only someone's opinion. It's one person's. It's not even. I mean, Famitsu probably do it right because they have 5 different scores in their magazine.
It's an average of a committee, isn't it?
Yeah, and they'll
but then it's still a small committee.
Yeah, but they'll show you each of scores, so at least you get an idea of what other people think. Do you know what I mean? Which is quite nice. Anyway, I think Rebecca's got. If you got to go, Rebecca.
Yeah, Nick's got to go.
Yeah, same. Got a rush.
Yeah. You can say bye anytime you want. We'll just wrap it up. If you need to go, just go. That's cool. And then we'll wrap it up soon anyway. Did we get any user questions?
We did get a few. My dinner is not until 7:15, so I'll be around for a little bit.
Okay, right. I got to head off though.
There you go. All right then. Bye, Nick.
Okay, bye.
Bye, Nick.
Okay, so we only got 3 user questions, but they're quite interesting. Quite different.
Holy Trinity.
Yeah, quite different from what we've had before. I mean, we got quite a lot of what's the favourite game on PS4 and stuff like that. So we have what is your favourite RPG or JRPG on the current gen consoles?
Oh, so I've only played one. And I still haven't finished it.
Yeah.
But, which is Persona 5.
Persona, yeah.
Oh, I'm just going to say Battle Chasers because that's kind of like a JRPG.
Have you played it?
Battle Chasers, of course I have.
I didn't know. Didn't know if it was out yet.
Oh yeah, it's out. It's amazing. It's really good.
Cool.
The art
What's the next
style is
question?
amazing.
What's your favourite one?
I've not really played any either. I mean, I'd probably have to say, I don't even want to say Horizon because
No, it's not an RPG. Next question.
it's not. You're true. Yeah. Do you guys get games for Christmas? If so, what are you asking Santa for this year?
Yeah, I get games for Christmas every year.
Oh, I
My
do.
mum-
I take full advantage of the Christmas gaming.
My mum's always like, well, I know I'm not going to ask you what you want for Christmas yet, but I know it's going to be games. I've already
Yeah.
been asked this year.
Have you?
Yeah, although I haven't gone back to her, but I think I'm going to put GT Sport and a Girl and a Robot on my Christmas list.
Oh, okay.
I'm too impatient to get games for Christmas. If a game comes out, I want it when I want it. So I don't think I could do games for Christmas. Not I mean.
So what about your kids?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, they do. Yeah, Travis has got FIFA 18 this year and Battlefront 2.
Don't tell him.
Wait,
That
wait,
doesn't ring
Oh, he knows he's getting them anyway. Jordan, I think Jordan just wants a PSN voucher so he can decide himself what he's getting.
That's
I think
handy.
he's sure what he wants yet. And Taryn's even getting a game this year. She wants Sims 4. So,
My
yeah.
brother,
Gaming
he's asked
household.
for FIFA 18 for my PS4 because he obviously doesn't have one. So he's like, "Oh, can I have FIFA 18, Mum?" And she's like, "How are you going to play it?" He's like, "Oh, Becky will let me do it."
Oh,
So
nice.
he'll play that on mine. As long as I'm supervising, I'm not letting him and his friends play on my PS4 and
Dribble all over your controller.
trash it. But I was going to ask for Okami, but I want to review it, so I'm going to buy that
Oh, I
myself.
forgot that was coming.
Because
This
it
year.
comes, it's on the 12th, so I'm gonna buy it myself and review it sort of like around that same time period. I've got quite a long list of games that I'm like, oh, well, I'll pick them up if I can. Maybe Evil Within 2 because like I really, really want that game, but don't want to spend £40 on it.
Yeah.
And I know it'll drop, so I'll just hold out for that.
Yeah. Cool.
And then the other one, don't know if it applies to you guys because you're in like stable jobs, but where do you guys see yourself in 5 years?
Do they mean us or the podcast?
I don't know. Maybe they. What do you think? Both, I
I
guess.
don't know. We can answer both. Well,
Yes, do both.
mean the podcast, probably.
Yeah.
yeah, I'd have thought so. Well, hopefully the podcast is still going, but you never know.
The site's grown loads, hasn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
like at the start of this year, was it just you and Joe writing for it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Now there's loads of us.
Yeah, we should give Rob a shout out at some point. I've
We
mentioned
should,
it
yeah.
twice now.
I
but
think in
we'll shout
5 years' time will be huge.
out. Yeah, let's hope.
That's
Yeah.
the dream, isn't it?
I
We
don't
might,
think. I
we
think-
might even have evolved the podcast into my super business plan I've got planned for it
Yeah,
as well.
maybe.
Oh, yeah, Joe would be paying our wages.
That'd be nice.
It could be part of my super plan, so it could quite easily. But I
Cool.
won't tell you much more about that yet.
That's all
Make it reality
questions,
first. Okay, that's
I'll still be
cool.
being a graphic designer, I'm sure, in 5 years' time.
Yeah.
Doing
And
what
I'll-
I do.
5 years, ooh, that's when my mortgage finishes, so that's good. So I might actually get to have fun in 5 years once the mortgage is paid off, and hopefully I'll be in my successful business. If not, I'll be just sitting about playing games. Going, no, I don't need work, the mortgage paid off.
And do you reckon in 5 years' time we'll only be on PS5, won't we? Possibly only just.
Yeah,
As well.
yeah, you'd think so. Yeah.
Hopefully there'll be a PS Vita 2 though by then.
Nah, I doubt it. Wishful thinking from you.
Yeah. Cool.
Okay,
Good
so
question.
right before we go, because Rebecca's got to go soon, so we'll wrap up. So, what's everyone been playing?
I really haven't had much time to play much. But I bought Hellblade, as I said, because Ninja Theory were doing that promotion on World Mental Health Day, where all proceeds from the game went to one of their mental health charities. So I was like, I didn't really want to spend the money on it. No, that sounds bad. But I didn't want to buy it for the full price that it was at, because I didn't feel that it was value for money. But then because it was for charity, that extra impetus for it I thought, I will, because it's kind of doing. I could have given the money straight to charity. I'm aware of that, but I just felt it was a good thing. It was a good time to buy it.
Yeah.
So I did that. I think I've also been playing a bit more Persona, because I've finished NAC 2 since I was last on the podcast. I can't remember. And I'm also playing a PS Vita game called Twin Robots, which is like an indie platformer game, like puzzle, which is quite quirky. So yeah, I haven't had much time, to be honest, to do much. So that's me. I do have a code for Twin Robots to give away, actually, but it's only for America and Canada.
Okay.
I'm sure we have listeners in America and Canada.
Or listeners with a PSN account for America and Canada.
Yeah, so I'm just going to read it out now, and then people can nab it if they're the first to hear. If that's okay with everybody.
Yeah.
So it is G, so it's G for golf, 34T AKN 2 BRNC. The nice thing with that is that it's cross-play, or is that what it's called? So you get it for PS4 and PS Vita if you use that code.
Just remember, you'll need to use a US or Canadian account.
Correct, thanks, Joe. Yeah, it's not UK. We got the code to review, so as we've mentioned a couple of times before, Rob, or Real Turnip Lord on Twitter, has been doing a lot of reviews for us and kind of contacting a few indie devs. They gave us a code which he's reviewing, and then also a code to give away. But because we're UK based, I didn't do a big Twitter comp. But yeah,
Well,
check out our web.
Did
Sorry.
anyone use that code I put in the SquareXO thing? Did we
think-
give that to Rob?
So
I don't know if Nicole did or not, or Rob. I'm not sure. We'll talk about it off air.
We
But,
better give it to Rob.
I'd like to thank Rob, give him a shout out.
Yeah.
Go on our website, have a look at some of his reviews. He's reviewing a lot of kind of the quirky Jap games that I like to play that necessarily no one else does, but it's great. He's done some really good stuff. So the website's looking chunky, which is nice.
Chunky. That's
Yeah.
good.
So thanks, Rob. Good work. Maybe one day we'll get him on.
yeah, that'd be great.
Yeah.
Hear his voice. See if he sounds like what you think he's going to sound like when you look at his picture. Yeah. So that's what I've been playing. Sorry, that was long-winded and wasted a lot of time.
Okay, Rebecca.
So I finished Limbo. I don't know if I said that I was playing Limbo, but I got the Limbo and Inside physical release pack, and I have both of them digitally, but I was like, I need the physical edition because I'm a hoarder.
Yeah.
So finished it, and it was really interesting actually too. You look at it and you can see where they took concepts and then expanded them in Inside. So you'll see something and you're like, oh my gosh, in Inside, this is in it too, but it's expanded upon. But the puzzles are ridiculous. Some of the hardest puzzles I've ever had to do in a video game. There's one section where you have to run through this corridor and there's saw blades on the floor, but the lights go out. So you have to listen to the saw blades and jump when you think they're underneath you. And it's ridiculously hard. But I've been playing it with my boyfriend, and he actually has chronic fatigue syndrome, so he really struggles with concentration. And it's such a good game for people who struggle with concentration because the earlier bits that aren't as complex are just so easy to like play through. Like the puzzles are really easy, and Jack, he finds it really fun to play, and he can actually sit and concentrate and understand it, unlike some of the big, the big games that come out that have really complex storylines. So we're playing that together, and that's been really good. But I do love indie games for that reason. That's why I really like them, because I can play them with Jack, and he can actually, he can have a go and he can understand it, and it's not a strain. And they're really good. I do like that there is a market out there for people who, don't really want to spend as much concentration or effort, and they can just sit back and play a game and just enjoy it for what it is. So it was really nice. It's a really good experience.
Cool.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I've just been playing FIFA 18. I've been playing a lot of the thing called squad battles, which is where you build your ultimate team and then you play offline against other people's ultimate team. And what happens is you sort of go up different ranks as you play. So, and at the end of the week, whatever rank you are, you'll get rewarded for it. So you get free packs to open and stuff, which can get you new players. So that's quite good. Quite like that. That's got a new feature, squad battles. Pretty good. I've also been playing a bit of Golf Story, and also on Switch. I've not started Stardew Valley yet on Switch because I've been enjoying the Golf Story. Also played Battle Chasers, like I mentioned, and I started, I think I'm at chapter 4 now of Guardians of the Galaxy, Who Needs You, which is the fourth episode. That's actually, I'm quite enjoying that, so I've nearly finished it. So there's only one more episode left after this one. And then the week before I was playing the Batman one, the Enemy Within, so I played that, and then I played the other episodic one, the Guardians of the Galaxy, and then next week the new Life is Strange is out, so that's got 3 weeks of episodic episodes.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's quite cool. I've quite enjoyed that actually. It's been good. So yeah. And that's it, I think.
Cool.
Great.
So
Sounds good.
Well done.
Maybe next week we can go a bit more in depth to what we've played. Hopefully I'll get some game time this week and can play a few more bits. Yeah. I want to finish Hellblade, so I can then talk about that, because none of us have played that. So it'd be good to...
I would love to, but I really want a physical release.
Yeah, me too. But yeah, maybe we can talk about that. So
yeah, sounds great.
There's a few. Let's just quickly mention what's coming out next week, because it's quite a busy week. Next week, actually, you've got the Life is Strange, as I mentioned, and you've also got WWE 2K18, I think, and obviously GT Sport as well, and there's one called Rogue Trooper Redux. I'm not sure about that. On South Park, the Fractured But Whole,
of course,
as well.
I've seen someone platinum that already.
Oh, they're fast.
So, yeah,
that's quite. So yeah, it's quite a busy week next week actually for games. So sometimes you're just a bit, geez, that was fast. So I might get some South Park. I think I've got that in my rental, so that should be quite good, really.
Cool.
So yeah, okay then, we better wrap up because everybody's gonna go.
Yeah.
Rebecca's dinner's going to get cold. She's having a nice dinner.
Roast.
She's having a nice
Looking
roast
forward to
in the town hall. We all are,
Yeah.
of course, town hall family. They're going to debate if they should have roast or boiled potatoes next week.
Definitely a roast.
Always roast potatoes. Always.
They have a vote to see Do we have gravy? Do we not have gravy? Old town issues. I don't know.
All good.
Yeah, okay then. Brilliant. Thanks for joining us, everyone. That's been episode 39. We'll be back next week for the episode 40. Unless, of course, we somehow forget it's episode 40 and call it episode 41. But no, we'll try and remember. But yeah, so episode 40. Another week. Another argument. That's episode 39's title. I just noticed. So yeah, I'll stop rabbiting on now and I'll go and put this podcast live. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.